Do you hear me?
I can. It's
Todd's waiting to be let in. I don't see. This is so classic. Where's Todd? Everything has to be so hard. There he is. There's Todd.
just a bunch of beer bottles sitting in front of him. And 3 sets of glasses.
You know it's a good cold open when there's a nice technical glitch. So guys, remember we're here because we're gonna start this new series and we wanna showcase our personalities for everyone out there watching our content who think we're boring duds. We're not.
I'm not boring.
We're not boring duds. We're fun. Look at Todd as his energy drinks.
Really high energy.
You look like an advertisement for Kirkland's.
Yeah, it's really working for me.
Not only are we fun, but we don't know how to use technology.
We don't know how to use anything.
To tell me how to use Riverside.
Todd, what are you trying to say right now?
I went to a musical yesterday at my 6-year-old daughter's school, and I was wondering if every parent felt this way, which is, my kid's a genius and these kids are idiots. My kid's surrounded by a bunch of idiots. None of them can sing, but my kid's awesome.
That's how I feel about myself most days.
That you're surrounded by idiots?
This was a perfect cold open, and we have enough material. What I wanted to do with Ryan here, and we won't, was like a Brady bunch, like we all look at each other, you know? You guys know what I'm talking about?
I know exactly what you're talking about. If you want to work with a team born in the 1970s, let's use Stephanie's idea.
Holy hell,
great episode, everybody. Peace out. If you've ever been in a room where someone mentioned an LOI or EBITDA or quality of earnings, and you just nodded like you knew what they were talking about, but you really did not, this show is for you. That's exactly why we created Wise Up on M&A, presented by Exitwise. Each episode, me, Stephanie, I'll be asking the questions you're too embarrassed to ask yourself, breaking down the world of M&A in plain English so we can all understand what's going on here. And we want to hear from you. So let us know what topics you want us to dig into. Today, Brian, we are here to talk about the players in the room, who's on the M&A team, and it's so complicated. It sounds a little overwhelming, I won't lie. And I know like there's layers and there's situations, and you're talking to us about boats, and hopefully people here know how to swim. But today we're really just trying to break down who's on the M&A team. Let's kind of untangle some of these, because some people get confused between who brings the buyer and who's the banker and who's the buyer and who's the actual deal maker and what's the difference between all these, and can my attorney do this? Do I need a special attorney? La la la. It's a mess. So let's just break it down. And before we start, what?
I'm confused at this point.
No, well, that's not great because you're our expert and our credible source who's going to also educate, also entertain us, and bring the expertise. This is why we're doing this episode, because founders are not thinking about their exit right now. They're not thinking about the M&A team right now. But I guess the best place to start before I even say is who are the players on the M&A team is, why does one need an M&A team in the first place when they're trying to sell their business? Can't someone a business owner just do it themselves?
Sure.
Oh God, here we go.
They can try. That sounds a bit arrogant, and it's not intended to be. It's really a function of risk. I think about it the same way as building the business in the first place. You know, you do as a founder, as a founding team, as you're trying to figure it out, you're doing a lot of things yourselves. But at some point, you need to start delegating responsibilities to people that are better than you are, or have simply had more experience in those areas. When you bring in a head of marketing, the hope is that person actually knows more about social media and marketing than the founder does. Now, the founder can have a great voice, can have a perspective of what's worked to that point, maybe even worked in that specific industry. But the goal of bringing somebody onto your team incrementally as you grow is they're going to take a ton off your plate. They're going to do it better. They're going to be more focused on it. They're going to have loads of experience having seen wins and losses, and they're just going to take that aspect of the business forward. If you're building a growth business, that should apply to every area of your business. And that's the decision that we all have to make as we move forward, as we grow and find success. So I always think it's interesting when it comes time to start thinking about selling a business, why so many business owners forget that aspect of what has helped to get them there and attempt to do it themselves, especially first timers, ones that have not been through it before. It's almost like, okay, I've built this business with incredible people. I've got this great team. We're growing. We're making money. Everything's great. I got a knock on the door. I'm going to sell my business. Yeah, I'll probably do that myself. That sounds like a great idea. I had a friend that went through this a couple years ago. I'm sure that they can help. Or my family attorney has helped with 2 transactions, and I'm sure he or she can put the bow on it. And although all of those things can be true, and I think getting outside advice from trusted advisors, friends, colleagues, anybody that's been through this before is really, 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 really important. The reality is, why change the playbook of what got you here in the first place and not lean into a team that is handpicked to not just deliver the greatest outcome, but reduce the risk of failure and distraction?
I love that so much. And it's such a good point, because really, when you're thinking about entrepreneurs who are building their teams and creating something from scratch, they're generally leaning into their network, friends, advisors. It's about the team. Obviously, you might have some egotistical founders. They exist. Hello. But it's all about the people and the team and doing it together. So it's such a good point that at this phase of the business, it's all about the people and doing it together. And we need that to make this a success. Why don't you have that same approach when it's the next phase of the business? Part of me wonders if it is actually an ego thing. Don't need to do this tangent, or, we don't need to go off
I think it's a great question.
But it's like, oh, because I built this business and I'm successful in this way and I could be selling this for a lot of money, I don't need help. Like, I did this myself and it's my baby and I know it very, very well. So I know how to sell it. Yeah, I wonder if it's just kind of arrogance or people thinking they know better.
Frugality. It's frugality.
Maybe.
This sounds really expensive.
Yeah.
Why would I pay an advisor or an M&A specific team a big chunk of what I have built? That doesn't sound like a great idea. But ego is a huge, huge part of it, of course. Yeah, we know the stories that we should be telling. There's no stone that we don't understand. We know, if we've talked to others that have gone through it, we know that it's going to be a huge burden on us no matter what decision we choose. So yeah, it's like I'm a deal maker. Like that's what I do for a living. As a founder, I make deals every day. I feel super comfortable doing it. I kind of know even maybe a couple potential buyers that I have great relationships with. I'm sure I can figure this out myself. And oh my gosh, I could save 3 to 5% of the sale price by doing it myself. Yeah, let's try this first. And if it doesn't go well, maybe I'll reconsider.
Yeah, it's really interesting. And it also makes me think of anyone who needs some kind of coach or advisor or even like a therapist, honestly, to pay someone, but that, okay, you're going to put some money down, but you ultimately could be making more money or have more happiness or have more positive mental health, like by making that investment, it's going to pay off in a different way, whether it's financial or otherwise. So we could talk about this for a long time. I kind of want to dive into this boat analogy and paint the picture of the boat before we talk about who's on the boat and who you think has to be on. And then as numbers get bigger and bigger, who can we add? Who do we toss, etc. So lay out this boat analogy when it comes to building your M&A team.
I think there's so many different analogies as you build a team that could be used, that have been probably overused, that I myself use a lot. I like this idea of, you've got a boat. That boat is going to get you to M&A promised land. It's going to help you get to the final phase of exiting, and you got to pick the people that are in that boat with you to help steer, row, navigate, bring supplies, folks that have been through those choppy waters before, to ensure you get there when you are expecting to, with as little risk as possible. And then just as importantly, not inviting the entire crew onto that boat, because at some point it gets bogged down, all your resources get consumed, there's disagreements over which direction we should go, and failure strikes, and everyone drowns.
Great.
it's really a difficult balance. And every deal is different. The size, the complexity, the industry that those companies exist within. I believe, not just having done this for 4 years, but in my previous, ventures and having both sell side and buy side experiences, I believe picking and building proactively your M&A team is one of the most important aspects of your business, even when you're in the early days.
So who are the top 3 must-haves, the non-negotiables? Who's on that boat? To find out Brian's top 3 must-haves on your M&A team, tune into next week's episode. And to learn more about what we do and how you can work with us at Exitwise, visit exitwise.com.